My name is Francois Jacquemin. I'm coming from Belgium, from actually a very small village. But next to the village, there's even a smaller village, and that's where I'm from. So that's where I grew up. There's one thing that my parents always wanted is me to be open to other culture, other language. Mother language was French, but my mother were coming from Flanders. And therefore, for her, although she didn't speak any Flemish, it was important I do speak Flemish. So I went to Flanders a lot of times in my youth to learn and practice Flemish. So I became bilingual, but it's my first experience with other culture and other vision, because there was a consensus about culture, you know. So French speaking, there's something which was always more or less similar. But although it was in Belgium, the Flemish angle is the views are different, the way they are expressed is different, even though there is a very strong common circle. So that's something that I always liked, is to discover that, or it just shaped me into willing to discover that, but I found it always interesting. I was a pretty good student in my education. Then I went to university. And their freedom was probably something which was a bit more given to me, so I was less inclined, let's say, to learn and to follow the courses on the day-to-day. I was very interested into the student life, which was offering not only education in topics that were interesting, sometimes it was not interesting at all, but I liked very much the human interaction, the friendship, the bonds that you make with other people, which were interesting. It was not interesting that we say, okay, let's meet, but there was very often purposes or element of culture that was involved. And one thing I loved is to play theater, not theater in a classical way, UNESCO, rhinoceros and things like that, but there was La Revue des Étudiants, so it's like a student writing a play, and this play then is being played in front of a teacher. It was parody. It was much fun. So what I did is I was an actor. I even wrote the text. And the last year I was doing that, the writer didn't even bother writing my part, because they knew I was going to do it anyway. And that was exhilarating because there was a lot of friendship and bond between the actors and the teams. The singers were there as well. I mean, it's great. I wasn't singer. I was terrible singer, so I even didn't think of trying to do that. But I love the team effort, and we've done also other things, other activities next to it, which were very interesting. The second exhilarating moment was when you're on stage in front of all those people. Then, well, there's always the stress coming on stage. That was something that I feared terribly. I didn't sleep, but also I loved it very much, because once you've passed this moment of stress and you start talking, then it's a symbiosis moment, and it's a place where I really like being, even though sometimes it's very difficult to try to go on stage after the song on Thunder of AC/DC. Then, you know, the audience and students don't want to listen to all the text that I was giving. So I needed patience, I needed courage. My legs were very, very shaky, but with patience and perseverance, I got back the audience, and off we went. But there was a lot of stress behind the stage or backstage, where they were like, oh my God, what's going on? He's never going to make it. But I made it. And it was a beautiful moment, and we celebrated it afterwards with the teachers as well, so with all the professors. So it was a good moment. I really enjoyed my education. But I was in a Belgian system which was very academical, and I wanted to do an MBA. You know, after a bit learning engineering and applied mathematics and economy, I wanted to do an MBA which was much more practical, much more business oriented, much more close to my thought we're doing entrepreneurial element, or you know, start something or be a consultant. So I thought it was a good continuation. And my teacher at the time, my tutor for my dissertation, was asking me, Francois, you know, just stay here, do one more year in a master in economy. But I had no willingness to remain in this system, too academical for me. I wanted to get into the practicality and the exchange of the UK system. And why the UK system? Well, it's something that made me dream. This element of exchange, the English universities and those teachers who come in the classroom and say, look, I'm going to learn as much from you as you will from me, which, you know, probably is not fully true. But the approach to it and the exchange was something in which I found very appealing, and I wanted to do that. There was even a firm at the time willing to support my MBA. I just had the budget, I financed it myself. But I didn't want this firm to finance it. It was a great firm, you know, it just probably could have been a great career, but for me the most important was that I have independence, I can choose whatever I want afterwards. I wanted to have a year of focus, a year of learning, a year of different cultural environment, the ability to master English, write in English, to demonstrate to myself that I was going to be able to succeed there was so important for me that I waived that. I waived also my tutor willing to keep me for one more year. So I've done this and I love this MBA. And I also established very strong friendship there and network and people I can count on when there is a problem or something that we could do together. This is a network that I can be open to without judgment. There is no, I can ask questions and not expect to be judged or to have a negative element that could sneak in behind the scenes. So that's something that I've relied on my career. So that was very strong element for me. Then someone told me I should go back to be on the continent, and I came back. I applied for jobs, and I found this job in Luxembourg, which is not at all what I was looking for. I was looking for a job in the consulting industry, and the consultant I was applying to referred me to an insurance company that was being established. I was the first employee. I accepted that job. I had other offers from a bank, a very good offer from a bank, but I declined it simply because I found it was so interesting to be the first employee. So I've learned a lot. I've done a lot. It was hectic. At the moment I had doubt. Yes, of course I had doubt. Anderson Consulting contacted me very early, say after a bit less than a year in that company, and we had several discussions, and I decided not to join that firm, although it was great, but I thought there was so much that I could do and learn and enjoy by being part of something and building something. Contributing and learning was so important to me. So that's something that I never regretted. Of course, careers are made from up and down, so there were good moments and bad moments. But even in bad moments, I managed to learn something. So the company was bought, and for that strategic reason, there was a runoff implemented of that company. So that means that we had clients that were there for like 20, 30, 40 years, applied for that kind of contract, but we were not able to sell it. So the point was to transform the organization from a sales-driven into a management and administration-driven, delivering the right service to clients and having a very stable core team, a very stable system. And we had the chance to be able to transform it very quickly. And I was leading the transformation, and it became very quickly very profitable. We fought very hard, so it was hard work for 2 years, and it became a very stable company, very old system. So for sustainability reason, we decided to and I promoted a conversion on a web-based system, which went very well. And then the system could do much more than simply what was asked for it for the same price, actually. So I managed to convince the shareholders, which was Allianz, to give me a chance and to give the company a chance and to reactivate it, which we did in collaboration again with other group divisions, which was very important because It was a tool that was pooling elements from the group that was unpoolable until that time, and were actually competing with each other for the same client, for sometimes the same business, and we managed to bring all that together and deliver a web-based product, which was for expat to client. When I say web-based, all the processes were handled on the web, from the application to the management to any change to the contract, and brokers as client alike had access to the system. So it was very advanced, worked really well. After that, I went to the group center, doing a lot of work on global steering. I mentioned startup earlier, first employee, small firm. Collaboration was something that, of course, I'd learned in my career, but going into one of the largest group centers in the world was a cultural shock. And I was helped because it's such a pool of bright people, open, extremely competitive, but also extremely open to collaborate, because without collaboration, this competition is bound to fail. So it's a great environment to learn, it's a great environment to get stronger, it's a great environment to become a leader, to negotiate better, to be more polished. And I've learned tremendous amount of things. Of course, I had a leader there who was very demanding, but without him I wouldn't be the person I am today. So he changed me for I guess the better, and allowed me to, although I had stayed as CEO for 6 years before, to be able to become a much better CEO with much better ability to execute visions and so on in the future. There's a lot of things you learn from the MBA, but there's a lot of things you learn as well from being put under pressure. After that, well, COVID came, and honestly, I was away from home for 10 years. So it's when I was in Germany, it was a long period of time, but also I was away from my family, and COVID told me that I should be a bit closer to them. So I got back to Luxembourg, where they were living, and there I had the chance to be part of and to lead the transformation of a small department into a division for a small insurance group in Luxembourg, to transform that into a global company with global outreach, and creating annual 3-digit growth, with the ability to execute a system, to do a merger. So in a very short period of time, we've reached the objective that I was given when I was appointed there, creating a company which is 10-fold bigger. It was 20-fold in less than 5 years. So it was a very strong adventure, which also it gave me great opportunities to learn more about myself, to be in multi-crisis environment. I was in a crisis in a runoff, but there was one element of change, of transformation that was there, then another one afterwards, then another one afterwards. Here there was 5 crises that were happening at the same time, which forces to prioritization, forces to compromise, forces to big changes, forces to make decisions that maybe we don't want to make in a more stable environment, but that are needed in challenging environments. So it's not about creating then the long term only, is also creating a short-term vision and setting milestone to stabilize unstable environment. Success can be as dangerous as difficult times, because it creates crumbling moment in a company, and crumbling moment is like an earthquake. The base is also challenged. Therefore, it's about setting the right mode for the team and team members to be stepping on and going back to competition mode with the external world.